everyone, and welcome back to Card-Spiration week 19. I can't believe I've made 19 cards already. And that humming sound you hear in the background is my fan. It's kind of quiet, but it's there nonetheless. It has been so hot here in this part of Canada, which is really unusual for us. So I'm really glad that my craft studio is downstairs, but the fan just makes it that much more comfortable. So anyway, as you know, I've been helping out with my neighbor's daughter's wedding, and so I thought I've got everything done that I promised to do, but I totally have not made a card for her yet. And this is so her style. This is just her. So I pinned this card a while ago, so I thought I'd make it today. So you can see how the background is kind of like text, and it's got that pale coral color. These are the colors of her wedding. It's all in these. If you remember me stamping the napkins, they were in this color. So I love this card. Just love the whimsy of it, just everything. And then I like the detailing where they've curled back the page and put some pearls, flat back pearls there, and then there's a little photo corner on that piece, and then the card in the background. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do my version of this card. So again, I'm using that 12 by 12 Lost and Found 2 paper pack that I got for such a good deal. And I have to say, this is one of the best paper packs I have ever bought. I've used this for so many projects lately. But you know how you go through trends. So what I did, as you know, I always make 2 cards when I'm doing Card-Spiration. So I used this page here. Hope you can see that. Can you see up here the 2 little lovebirds? And then it says such a lovely day. So I wanted to make sure I'd be able to make 2 cards without wasting paper. So for one of them, I cut 5 inches around getting the such a lovely day. And on this one, I cut 5 inches around, but I used, in my mind's eye, the Dream stamp set. And I stamped today, tomorrow, and forever on the card. So it's a little bit different, but the same as well. So, if that makes sense. And you know, I have to say, this Fiskars stamp press, I think it's called, with the foam feet, is absolutely excellent for accuracy when you're using these kind of acrylic stamps. There's no guesswork. You know where you're putting it. It stamps evenly. I really, really like that. I haven't used it that much because, again, it's always tucked in a drawer, but I've brought it out and it has a permanent spot on my desk. So all of the paper is from that Lost and Found. For my card base, I used a kind of a light caramel color cardstock. This is going to be a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square card, opening this way. And then I took a 5 1/4 piece of white cardstock, put it through the, I forget the name, I think it's Little Flowers embossing folder from Stampin' Up. And then my piece of paper. So it'll be like this, and I'm going to curl that top corner down. Next element on the page is all of those banner pieces. So what I did is I cut out various pieces of the different papers, and then I'm going to fold them over. So I've got some of the blue, see, they're going to be like that, folded in half, and they'll hang on a little piece of white twine. And I also cut some out of this shape of a banner. So I'll show you how I'm going to put that together in just a second. And I'm also going to be using this lace trim here and a flower, one for each card, because I didn't have 2 flowers the same. So one will go on one card and one will go on the other. So before I start putting the whole card together and assembling them, I'm going to ink around the top piece, as well as all of the little embellishments here, with tea dye distress ink. So here's what I've got done so far. So I inked the edges of first that embossed piece underneath, although you're not going to see much of it. Some of it peeks through here, so that's why I embossed it in the first place. And then I used a fine paintbrush like this one to curl that little edge down. Then I inked the top part of it too. And then I placed this pearl here, and I'm not sure who made that one. I got it from peachycheap.com. There was a whole pile of pearl embellishments that they had the reduced price on. So because this paper is so lovely and it already has the curves in it for where you can add your pennants, that's one of the reasons why I chose this paper. So you can see the inking all around. So the next thing I did, I kind of measured. I'm going to put one banner there, so it'll probably cover up that design they have on there, and then a really tiny little one right there. So what I did is I measured how much string I would need for this one. So as you can see, all my little pieces have been inked, and then I glued them to closed first on the string, and then just for embellishment's sake, it's not really holding it on, I stapled them with blue staples. Just as a little detailing effect. I thought it looked kind of cool. That's what they had done too. So then I'm going to glue that whole edge down with my glue gun and then snip off the string so you won't see the string at all. And then in between each of the little banner pieces, I'm going to glue down little tiny little vintage buttons like so. So that's how that banner's going to look. And then across here, just before I glue that down, you just move it, I took my lace and inked it as well with the tea dye. And it's going to kind of be about like that, just above my sentiment, and almost like the birdie is perched on top of that. So I'll put that down and that pennant, and then I'll put the other pennant down, and that should be it. I'll be right back. So I finished both of my cards. This is the first one that I did that I was showing you. And this little pearl here is a basic gray from Basic Gray Opaline collection. And so you can see the lace there, my little banner with the buttons in between, and there. And then if you'll notice, you see this little button, I'll hold it up close. It has a tiny little flat back pearl in it, and there's one right there. I had these buttons, these ones in this jar, and they are the oddest buttons because if you look at them, there's only like one hole in them and you can't even get thread through, and they're wooden, but they were perfect for adding a little flat back pearl and just giving just even a little bit more detail on the card. And then this is one of my coffee filter roses I made, and you can see that I cut off the bottom so it wouldn't be so big and so too high for the envelope. So there's that one. This one says today, tomorrow, and forever. And then I just cut some of the script of the paper. It's the exact same page. It was just at the bottom of the page of that 12 by 12 sheet. Sorry about the shadow. And I didn't put any sentiment on this one because I thought this one could be a thank you or best wishes or whatever. And then this one is the one I'm using for the wedding. So this one has the two birds on it, which I thought would be more appropriate for lovebirds. And I love that the paper said such a lovely day. So I thought that would be excellent for a wedding card. So the basic bones of the card are the same as the other one with the embossed background, but then here I put 3 little flat back pearls, and the banners are placed in totally different places. As you can see, I followed along the curve there, but on this one I followed along the curve there and up that way. So I just went with what the card layout was already. This was a little flower I got from the flower swaps at Your Paper Pantry a while ago, and it was just perfect with that pearl inside of it, and it's made out of, it looks like a burlap, frayed burlap. Love it. So you can see the detail in the banner. This is a button that's just a flat button, so I cut the shank off and glued it on. And then the twine inside of these buttons, I have mentioned before how much I love this twine because it goes in a very fine buttonhole, but yet it's so textured and not coarse, but it's like a substantial twine. I love this stuff. I bought it at my local scrapbook store, and they only had this color. It's by Karen Foster, and it's called Scrapper Spools, and it's in russet. And I would like to get every color of this that's available because there's tons of it. It was only $2 or $3. I love it. I'm going to look for some more. So there are my 2 cards. Oh, and this one on the inside, I did the same thing with a 4.5-inch square, the script, but I stamped congratulations with the Stampin' Up! Stamp set. I think it's called Well Scripted. So I'm going to glue that little piece of the banner down there. But anyway, there are my 2 cards. I love them both. You know, sometimes if you find a card design that you just really, really like, this was one of those. It took a while. It had lots of little tiny little elements, but they were fun to do, like inking around each one of these, punching them out, making little banners, putting the twine on, putting the twine through them. It was just a really enjoyable card. And if you knew the bride, Susie, her name's Susanna, this is so her personality. I can't even tell you. It's like when I saw it on Pinterest, I was like, this is the perfect card. So I'm so glad I was able to recreate my version of it. So I'll show you their version again here. I'll just bring it up on my computer. So here is the version that they created, and apparently the word happy was already on there, and then the person who created the card, it's at papermeetsglue.blogspot.com. She stamped together, and then she created this hexagon piece out of chipboard and some more of the printed paper and some little hearts and a button, and I chose to put a flower there. But all the other elements are pretty much the same. I didn't put a photo corner on the corner of the embossed piece, and this piece looks like she used a background stamp on the same color craft cardstock, but she just used a background stamp to add a little bit of detail. But other than that, they are very, very similar. So there are my 2 card designs for Card-Spiration number 19. And I hope you're all creating, and thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.